Shalom. I want to start giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone for teaching us scriptures, among other things. And salutations to all the Achion across the earth for doing this work in sincerity and truth. And shalom to the sincere brothers and sisters who are at home watching the videos and do their best to please Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai. So yeah, man, I basically want to jump in this article. I've been looking at this for a while, and today of this year, the 5th of May in Holland, they're gonna celebrate 80 years of liberation, basically, and I said that, and they want to do it big, and it's kind of funny because I believe last year or the year before, it was like 150 years ago that slavery, that Holland, the Dutch people, they were the last one that stopped with slavery, and they celebrate that basically that slavery stopped, and they talked about that they want to make people more aware of slavery and all that shit. But that's never, I don't know. I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before. I think it was the year before. And you had, yeah, it was the year before, and you had Mark Kutte made a fake apology. Also, the king Alexander, Willem Alexander, also with a bullshit apology. What's the name of that coon again? Or Tycoon, yeah, Tycoon, a Dutch rapper from Suriname. He was very emotional by the words that the king spoke, But coons, you're gonna have coons always, You're gonna, let's call him Steve, If you watch the movie Django, that's a real Steve over there, that Tycoon character. So yeah, man. So and now they want to do it big, And for our people, they never been silent, If you only think about, how many natives, Native Americans were slaughtered, so-called Indians, and not only in America, also in Canada, and yeah, they even used the so-called Negroes, to hunt down the Indians, the so-called Indians, They had the southern tribe fighting against the northern tribe, things like that. There were special trips for Dutch Edomites to go to America to go hunt on the natives, things like that. But those are things that they don't tell you in school, that they don't teach you with history, And now they want to do it big, I saw an article like a couple of weeks ago that you have a supermarket, Dirk, which is spread all over the country, and they already talked about that they're going to be closed on the day of when they celebrate the 80 year of liberation, from Holland. And how do you say that? So they want to do it big, And meanwhile, if you say anything about slavery, yeah, it's a long time ago, this and that. Okay, but what are y'all doing? Why don't y'all forget the small mustache man? The one with the stiff arm. Why don't y'all forgive him? But meanwhile, they are on one accord with him. Look at the father of Beatrix. Yeah, man. He been how you say that, a well-known member of the stiff arm club. They made a whole documentary about that. But yeah, man, let me jump into the article. Boomer in Canada for Leeuwarden Day celebration. Special moment for the regiment. For the first time, a major of Leeuwarden visits Petawawa. You already heard the name of that place. The place where the Canadian liberators of the Friesland, it sounds really native to me. Does it sound? It doesn't sound like an Edomite name. Petawawa, Petawawa, the place where the Canadian liberators of the Frisian capital came from. One on Tuesday, Siebrand Buma celebrates Leeuwarden Day in Canada. You see how these devils are. The same like Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving. Give the people a day to celebrate the day that you did a mass slaughter among the so-called Indians. That's what they celebrate. Fucking devils, man. But you're gonna pay for it. You're gonna pay for it. None of y'all, like it's written in the book of, is it, was not Habakkuk, is it Nahum? Bear with me one moment. Let me check real quick if I can find it. Yeah, it's Nahum. So this is the book of Nahum, chapter 1 and verse 3. Yahweh is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. So these devils will not get away. You're gonna pay for it, man. The Mosiah is very clear about it. Matter of fact, let me jump to the book of Revelations, and then I'm gonna jump to the book of Numbers, and then I'm gonna jump back into the article. Let me see. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 13 and verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. So all got ears, but not everybody gonna understand it. And the majority of the people not gonna accept it, but what can you do? It will happen. Although it tarry, it will happen. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And we're waiting for that, So let me jump to the book of Numbers real quick. Let me see, the book of Numbers. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 35 and verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defiled the land. So only look at America. You know how many natives been slaughtered there? You know how many slaves been slaughtered there for fun? Okay. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defiled the land. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So how clear do you want to have it? You you're gonna pay for it, man. So back to the article. I find it very special that in this regiment, the Royal Canadian Dragoons still celebrates Leeuwarden Day every day, says the Major of Leeuwarden, with a parade and with flags flying high. So those are the things that they want to celebrate, but they don't want to recognize. They try to sweep under the carpet the things that they have done to the real children of Israel, the so-called Negros, Latinos, and the so-called Indianos. Until this day. They want to sweep it under the carpet, They don't want to come out for the shit that they have been doing to our people, They try to hide it, but the Mosai will not forget, It will happen, although it tarry, He was invited by the Major of Petawa to attend their commemoration. In response, Buma invited his Canadian colleague to come to Friesland on May 4 and 5. I think it will be very special in Canada, but later also during the visit to Leeuwarden. Royal Canadian Dragoons. Friesland was liberated by the Canadians, but they were different regiments. Boomer explains, all those regiments eventually liberated different parts of Friesland. In the Humber A scout car, see the car. The Dragoons was and you gotta, just look at these countries and see how rich they are. It's all built from the backs of the slaves and the natives, the northern and the southern tribes, of the children of Israel. And you're gonna pay for it, man. He that toucheth the apple of the eye of the Most High, don't you think that you are in danger? The Dragoons was a regiment that arrived here in Leeuwarden first, and that actually happened without resistance. The Germans offered no more resistance. Still, it's a special moment for the regiment. He hopes to learn more about this in Canada, Boomer will attend a parade there, talk to to school children, yeah, those are the things that they want to teach how great they are, these devils. Huh. Well, you're gonna find out soon how great y'all are, man. Y'all are the lowest of these all these nations, of all these heathens, you know. And after 1,000 years of intensive labor, you know, the so-called white people, the Edomites, gonna be exterminated. Thus said the Bible. He hopes to learn more about this in Canada. Boomer will attend a parade there, talk to school children about the liberation, and address the city council of the town. He wants to use that last moment to indicate how important it is that we remain friends on both sides of the ocean. We have problems with Russia, but don't forget also with the United States, it is not as much of a friend as it used to be. So we need each other. And that's also, you know, this also clings into prophecy. So because eventually everybody gonna turn against America, you know, thus said the Bible. And you already see glimpse of that going on, you know. So yeah. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 73 and verse 8. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. Why do y'all still talking about slavery? It happened a long time ago. Ain't you supposed to forgive and forget? But every year you want to think about the small mustache man. You know how your people suffered and this and that. And don't forget, these Dutch people, they fucking filthy, man. Those are, hey man, they are special Edomites. I always said it, you know, you got to keep in mind, in the First World War, you know, they were selling cocaine to all the parties that were fighting against each other. You know, they had a cocaine factory going on in Amsterdam. But those are the things that they don't want to speak about, you know. No, they are great people. Yeah, they are great in doing evil, man. They are really great uh, in doing evil. So this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 15 and verse 5. For who shall have pity upon thee, O Jerusalem? Or who shall bemoan thee? Or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest? You see that? Because none of these nations care about the children of Israel, you know. It's also part of the curse, you know. That's how the Mosai created it. But you know, it's gonna be turned around, and you already see that happening, you know. This there that the precious queendom is crumbling down, you know. This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and 1. Gather yourselves together, gather together, O nation not desired. You know, and it's talking about the so-called Negros, Latinos, and the so-called Indianos. We are not desired. We are despised amongst all these nations, you know. That's what it is. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of Yahweh come upon you, before the day of the Lord anger come upon you, you know. It's part of the curses, you know. Everybody, you know, doesn't matter where we are, we will find no rest. We will have no rest, you know. Yeah, nation not desired, you know, but things are about to turn, man. Seeing these things going on, how everybody start to turn their back against America, that's prophecy, man. Prophecy right there, you know. Beautiful to see, man. But yeah, man, and you also got to keep in mind, you know, things gonna be crazy here about on this planet, you know, like very soon, and you know, things might change instantly, you know. But yeah, all we gotta do is keep our faith and our trust 100% in Yahweh Basham Yahushai, you know. So yeah, man, I just wanted to do a short video, nothing too long. You know, you know, the people be hyping this up, and there's also a thing, like normally they used to have like on the 4th of May. I believe like 8 o'clock, they used to have like 1 minute silence, you know, and like 1 or 2 years ago they switched it up and turned it into two. You know, it's all in favor for the small heads, you know. But your Amalekites, you know, your small heads, you're also gonna get it, man. Y'all also Edomites, y'all the head tribes of the Edomites, the so-called white people. You know, those imposters that you have in Israel nowadays, you know, claiming that is their land, you know. Hey, your time is almost up. You're gonna get it. You're gonna be exterminated after 1,000 years of hardcore labor, intensive labor. You're gonna be exterminated, man. Thus said the Bible, yeah. You know. So yeah, man. With that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone for teaching of scriptures, among other things, and salutations to all the Akyam across the earth who are doing this work in sincerity and in truth, and shalom to the sincere brothers and sisters who are at home watching the videos and do their best to please Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. So yeah, man, with that, I'm going to say shalom.